Complex. What the hell?
What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Complex. We're in New York City at Flight Club with the Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran.
You all right?
How you doing? Gonna do some sneaker shopping today. Gonna see what he's feeling, what he's not, and then hopefully he's gonna buy some sneakers.
Let's go.
Let's go. Ed, we've been trying to get you on the show for years, but you were destined to be on this show February 17th, your birthday.
Yes.
It's Michael Jordan's birthday. Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah. It's
Okay.
also Paris Hilton's birthday.
Okay, so you, Michael Jordan, and Paris Hilton, growing up in England, like Halifax, what was the sneaker scene like?
So I grew up in the countryside. I was born in Halifax, but I grew up in Suffolk, and I don't know, like it's literal farmland. So like sneakers aren't really, you can't really wear nice ones around there because they just get caked in mud. You can't like go for a walk or whatever. It was mostly when I moved to London and I started doing shows and I went on the road, and that's when I actually started discovering shoes and liking them. And it was, going to like award shows and feeling like I should get like one special pair of shoes. That's how I ended up getting the Oreos for the first time. I think that was MTV VMAs 2013. And then that sort of opened the door.
And I like that because we'll talk about like the Yeezys over here, but you were showing up to award shows, sometimes suits and sneakers and red carpet.
I still do that. I'm still very much that, yeah.
And where did that, like, was that a conscious decision? You were more comfortable in sneakers or what?
I just think like, I don't know why people think that smart has to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why, like, you know, they'd give you like a nice suit, like a whatever suit, Burberry suit, and then they'd give you these shoes that were like leather and uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't want to spend the night sitting down being uncomfortable. So I just sort of leant towards that. And I feel like no one's ever really looked at me as Mr. Stylish, so no one actually really cared. So I just carried on doing it.
Practical, functional. And to that point, like 2012, 2013 is when you really started. I saw you in black cement 3s, I think the Oreo 5s, and like these Bel Air 5s.
So these were ruined in Nashville. I was in a bar called Santa's, which is it's a dive bar that does karaoke and $1 beers, PBR, that's it. You can smoke inside and you can sing. And I used to go there pretty much, I lived in Nashville for most of 2013. I used to go there like almost every night, and I went in these once, and I'm outside, I'm singing with my cousin, and I've got 2 bottles of beer, and I'm banging them on the table like this, and I go, and I've got the scar there.
Oh, wow.
But I ended up having to get 12 stitches, and the only reason I knew is it hurt, and then I just carried on, and then someone was like, bro, look at your shoes. And I looked down, and they were like,
covered?
Just black. They were just like absolutely covered in black. So I got taken to the hospital by, do you know a singer called Gavin DeGraw?
Yeah.
So he drove me to the hospital at like 3 a.m. and then took me for a Jack in the Box.
Okay.
And took me back home, and I'll never forget that, yeah. But I got like, 12 stitches.
So you remember from the scar and
I still got the shoes.
You do, you have
covered,
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, I did wear them again.
All right.
I did.
Well,
it's a story, isn't it?
It is a story, and I also, what I like about you, we'll talk about it over there, you like wearing sneakers that are super worn. Like beat in, I love that.
I think the biggest shame is, like, sometimes I watch like when you go into people's closets and they go, there's this amazing pair of shoes and I've never worn them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why have, it's like watches, like people who are into watches or wine, they buy wine and they never drink it. Like what's the point? It's meant to be worn. Okay, so if you're gonna buy sneakers and invest and sell them, fair enough, but I don't necessarily see that as being a sneakerhead. I think that's just being a smart businessman. But if you're a sneakerhead, you should wear the shoes.
Ed, you show up, low-profile Converse, but the devil is in the details. They're Fragment, but you didn't just go on Converse.com and get them. Talk about these shoes that you came to sneaker shopping with.
The reason I started playing music was Eric Clapton. Like, I watched him play on TV at the Queen's Jubilee when I was 11 years old. Yeah, 11 years old. And I went, I want to play guitar. And from that day, I picked up a guitar. I learnt Layla. He was like the one reason I picked up guitar. Anyway, I bought one of his guitars and played it on a TV show, and then I wake up it was a New Year's Eve TV show. I wake up to an email the next morning just saying, liked your guitar. And I kind of look at the email and it's EC, and I'm like, no.
Wow.
Anyway, it turned out to be Eric, and I've developed a friendship with him over the years. And the first time I went to go meet him, we had dinner, and then he gave me one of his guitars, and then just said, do you want this pair of shoes? My friend makes them. And then when I was in Japan, I ended up hanging out with Hiroshi and going eating soba noodles and stuff like that. So these are like my probably favorite shoes, just because they're from my hero. And I wore them today. I know they're not like.
No, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And so Hiroshi to Eric Clapton to Ed Sheeran. Wow, that's a nice trickle down effect. Talking about another group of sneakers that is really close to your heart, I would say. A lot of times in the past we saw you wearing these, the Yeezy 1s and the Yeezy 2s. You wore them a ton. The Red Octobers you wore to Elton John's Oscar party. Did anyone comment on it or what?
No, I've never, every now and then someone knows I've got them and they come up into my closet and have a look. But I wore them to my 22nd birthday, or maybe 23rd birthday, and I got chucked in a swimming pool with them. And I was like, no!
Oh,
but
no.
They're fine. But no, the story is basically there was a bloke at Nike in England called Nana who just had the hookup. And I find like in America, when these shoes came out, everyone's going, I need them. And in England, there's a few sneakerheads around, but there's not like a huge amount. So when they came out, I hit Nana and he's like, got you. Like each one. So Nana, if you're watching, I love you.
The plug.
But so I got basically a pair of these, and a pair of these. I've actually got two pairs of these because they were my tour shoe.
The Divide Tour, right?
Yeah, and Multiply Tour, but they glow in the dark. So on stage, my gigs would start, they're stadium shows, so you start in the sun and then they glow up and then it gets dark. And they were just the best shoes. So I had two pairs to wear of those on tour. One of them is fucked. But
so the lights on the stage, they glowed up.
I wore these for a bit. I remember wearing these to the Z100 Jingle Ball 2013 as well.
Another thing is that it seems like on the low you get gifted shoes from celebrities. Antisocial, you worked with Travis Scott. He gave you a pair. Talk about that.
So mate, I love Travis. Travis was like the best session I think I've ever had in terms of like watching an artist work. 'Cause he comes in, he's like super nice, super smiley, sits down, and I was like waiting for the engineer to turn up, and I was like, oh no, Travis is going to engineer himself, and he's got his microphone there, and he's on the lap, and he's doing the vocals, and he did it in about 20 minutes. Wow. Anyway, he sent me the pair of shoes, and I have to confess, my friend Zach is the biggest Travis Scott fan, and knew that I had the shoes, and he's the same size as me, and I actually gifted them to him because I knew he would like love it. But then when Travis brought me out on stage at the O2, I had to ask Zach, I was like, you got to give them me back for one show. So I wore them to that. But yeah, I often find I get like, I love shoes, but I do wear them to death. And I feel like if someone's gonna like cherish and appreciate something, I would rather like give it, if that makes sense.
And it was the Jordan 1s, right?
The high tops, yeah.
And then another one we had to talk about, we talked off camera, Macklemore 6s.
Yeah.
You got those, super rare pair. We talked about it, that not many people have them, and he gifted, how did that happen?
I did a song with Ben on his second album, with Brian Lewis, and I was in Seattle. I can't remember what I was at. Oh, I was shooting the Shape of You music video.
Okay.
Yeah, I was shooting the Shape of You. He came out and did a cameo. If you watch when I'm doing the sumo wrestling scene, you can see Ben in the background. And anyway, he gave me the shoes and he said, never sell them, I will know if you've sold them. And I was like super on it because there was only 23 pairs. And I remember seeing Benjamin Kicks sell them to Khaled. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I got the Macklemore, I was gonna sell them. And I was like, I wonder who sold them, man.
Ed, I'm not sure if you remember this moment. The Brit Awards when your now wife broke the heel.
Oh, yeah.
And you gave her the DVS sneakers
off
your feet. Do you know that that made mainstream sneaker news? I
didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like the first result, and then I'm like looking, and it's like people and everything, and it's just like, she put on your sneakers.
No, she basically, dude, it's like, I can't remember what shoes they were, but I remember they were gifted to us.
Okay.
And they broke within like an instant, and they were like expensive.
Like Louboutins.
Yeah, they were red bottoms. Yeah. I don't. This is a bad advert for Louboutins, but yeah, they snapped and she wasn't wearing socks, and I was. And we were walking outside, so I just gave her my shoes.
So like barefoot, you gave her the DVSs. So like bad Louboutin ad, great DVS ad though.
Yeah, exactly.
A few years back, you donated 17 pairs to the local hospice, and it was like big news. Are you consolidating sneakers still when like you're done wearing them and donating them? It made like local news from where you're from.
Yeah, I feel like the ones that I donate are the ones that I haven't worn because like I think it's weird giving a pair of trainers that are like worn through. So like honestly, the shoes that I have at my house are like you wouldn't want to like be bigger. If I gave you the Macklemores, you'd be like, these are a bit too worn in, if that makes sense.
You wear basically everything is what you're getting at.
Do you know, I think if you have a nice bottle of wine, you should drink it. If you have a nice watch, you should wear it. If you have a nice car, you should drive it. If you have a nice shoe, you should wear it. I think like I might be wrong in this, but unless you want to sell it, you should enjoy it.
Love that. Perfect way to end. Now, browse the shelves, see what you're gonna take home.
Cool.
Let's do it.
What are we gonna get today?
Can I get the Oreos in a 10.5? And I'm gonna get these for my mate Jason, and then I'm gonna, I think, get these for me.
Random? Fragments?
Thank you. What's the damage?
So your total today is $1,015.72.
All right.
All set?
Thank you.
Anytime, enjoy these.
Nice one.
So Ed came through, told some great stories. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure everyone checks out the new album out right now.